Salinas. And it's Friday night Shabbat here at Temple Bethel in Salinas with Josh Mack as our song leader this evening. We're delighted to have him. And we're probably going to open with Bim Bum, perhaps.
Great.
Yeah. Please join us in singing.
Together, here we go. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam.
Jerry, berry, berry,
bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shake it out. Shabbat shalom, hey. Shabbat shalom, hey. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, hey. Shabbat shalom, hey. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, hey. Shabbat shalom, hey. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, hey. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, 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 shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Ya la 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 la. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom. Take a moment to greet your neighbor as John and Michael prepare to light the Shabbat candles. Say Shabbat Shalom to one another. Shabbat Shalom. And we're on page 2. Or page 3.
Get another cane. We'll sing and then you can read the deal after. Baruch atah
Thank you. Page 8. Please join me on page 8. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, and my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. And to love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. Page 12, Lachuna Ranana, come let us sing joyously to Adonai.
Lechuna ranina, lechuna ranina, lechuna ranina, le'Adonai. Lechuna ranina, lechuna ranina, lechuna ranina, le'Adonai. Naria, naria, litzur yishenu, kadma fadna betodah. Naria, naria, litzur yishenu, bizmorat naria lo. Lechunu ranena, lechunu ranena, lechunu ranena, le'Adonai. Lechunu ranena, lechunu ranena, lechunu ranena, le'Adonai. Lechunu ranena, lechunu ranena, lechunu ranena, le'Adonai. Lechunu ranena, lechunu ranena, lechunu ranena, le'Adonai.
What would you like to continue with?
Lacha usually comes next,
You
yes.
want to go straight to Lachad Odi?
Oh, is there something else you'd like to sneak in between on me?
We'll just keep, we'll go straight to Lachad Odi, page 20 and 21.
Lechad odi ligrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lechad odi ligrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lechad odi, lechad odi ligrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lechad odi ligrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zakor b'dibur echad, Ishmi'anu el ham yuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'letila. Lechad odi dodi, lechad odi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lechad odi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki hi mekor ha'bracha, Merosh mekedem nesucha, Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila. Lechad odi dodi, lechad odi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lechad odi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
Please rise. Bo'ii v'shalom, verse 9, as we rise to turn to the back of the sanctuary and greet the Sabbath bride.
Bo'ii לשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת קנה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קנה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Please be seated. We continue on page 24 with Shalom Aleichem.
Love that.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharit, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boechem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nishalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Page 26. Yitgadol v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah. V'amad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uv'izman karim ve'immeru. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ol'olamei amaya. Yitbarach, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kodesha. La'ila min kol birchata v'shirata tushmechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma ve'immeru. Amen. We stay standing for our call to worship. Page 28.
Everybody lie, lie. Lie, la, 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 la. Lie, la, 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 la. Lie, la, 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 la. Lie, la, 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 la. Lie, la, 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 la. Lie, la, 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 la. Lie, la, 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 la. Lie, la, 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated. We continue on page 30. Please join me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, uvit vuna mishaneh itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umasader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtsono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi laila, uma'avdil bein yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravi. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravi. We continue with a special reading.
As the hand held before the eye conceals the greatest mountain, so too the little earthly life hides from the glance the enormous lights and mysteries of which this world is full. And he and she who can draw it away before his or her eyes, as one draws away a hand, beholds the great shining of the inner world. Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav.
Page 34, Shema Yisrael. And if you'd like to, you may rise, as is our custom at Temple Bethel.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated, except for the students and the alumni of the Temple Bethel Hebrew School. Anybody who was a student that studied with me or Rick Hughes, that includes you, Michael, come on up. And yes, Asher, to lead us in Via Hafta on page 36. There's comfort in numbers. Anna, you come up too. Anybody who was a student, that includes me.
Yeah.
I studied with Rick. Ann is not going to come up.
Will. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alivavecha v'shinantam livanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'aderech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, ואתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת אמת.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
For the reading before me, Chamocha, I'm going to borrow from the morning service. The good in us will win over all the wickedness, over all the wrongs we have done. We will look back at the pages of written history and be amazed, and then we will laugh and sing. And the good that is in us, children in their cradles, will have won. Our hearts beat with certainty that there is a day and an hour in a mountain called Zion, and that all of the sufferings will gather there and become song, ringing out into every corner of the earth from end to end, and the nations will hear it. Like the caravans in the desert will all to that morning throng.
Everybody yell out again. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la la, ya la la la. Mi kamocha ba'alim Adonai, mi kamocha nerdab hakodesh, Torah techilot osef eleh. מלכותך ראו וענך לא קיים לפני משה זה לי אנו ואמרו זה לי אנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד מי כמוך בעלים אדוני מי כמוך נרדם בקודש נורא תחילות אוסף אלה נורא תחילות אוסף אלה יאללה 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 לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה לה לה
Hashkivenu, page 42. Would you like to play, Josh? Hashkivenu? Lovely.
It's such a pretty song. It's almost the same
Yes.
chord progression as the final song.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom L'shalom Amideinu Shomreinu L'chayim Vros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha Vros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us all from harmful things, O
Baruch atah Adonai hapurei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Please rise for our tefillah on page 46. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava. Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Baal Givurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. We pray silently.
Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim
We turn to our Torah service, page 244. I need someone to take the Torah from the Ark. Noah Telford. You got out of it, John Bear, because Noah, the younger generation, is taking the lead. Page 244, and we rise as the Ark is opened. Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai, v'ein kema'asecha.
Malachutecha malachut kol amim, u'mishtaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Adonai yos le'amoitim, Adonai yarech et amo shalom.
Page 246. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah.
Mitzion tetzeh Torah, le'ubenai Adonai Mirushalayim. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah. Le'amo Yisrael v'kedushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Gadlu Adonai iti, unerom emad Shemo yachdav. Lecha Adonai hagedula, vehagevura, vehativeret, vehaneitzak, vehaor. Kiko bashamayim v'aretz, Kiko bashamayim v'aretz. Lecha Adonai amlacha, vehamid na'aseh lechol erosh. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha שלושה דברים העולם לומד. על התורה ועל עבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם
Please be seated. And Nancy Makita will be reading this evening from Genesis 32, verses 4 through 9. We are in Parshat Vayishlach. God tells Jacob to return home in this Torah portion, and worried that his brother Esau will kill him, Jacob divides his clan into two camps so at least some will survive in case of a fight. Jacob sleeps alone in the desert and is awoken by an angel who wrestles with him through the night. Jacob survives and is blessed by the angel and renamed Israel. Jacob meets his brother, and surprisingly they embrace. Dinah, Jacob's daughter, is raped by Shechem, who then proposes to Jacob that he marry her. Shimon and Levi brutally murder Shechem and his clan. Rachel has another child whom she and Jacob name Benjamin. My goodness. A lot happening. And I would like to call up for the Aliyah all of the students of the Temple Beth El Yeshiva, Hebrew School, Religious School, and their teachers. Please come up as we bless the Torah.
I forgot about rolling the Torah. I don't know where it is.
Ya'amdu hamorim ve'haltamidim ve'yeshiva Beit El levarech et haTorah. Okay.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai hamorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Vayishlach Yaakov malachim lifnav el Esav achiv Artza Seir Sedei Edom Vayetzav Otam Lemor Ko Tomrun Le'adoni Le'esav Ko Amar Avdecha Yaakov Im Lavan Garti Ve'achar Ad Ata Vayehi Lis Shor V'chamor Tzon Ve'eved V'shivcha ve'eshlacha la'agid la'adoni limtza chen be'enecha. Vayashuvu hamalachim el Yaakov lemor, manu el achicha el Esav, v'gam holek likratcha, v'arba ma'od aish imo. Vayivra Yaakov ma'od, vayitza lo, vayachaz et ha'am asher ito, va'et hadson, va'et habakar, v'hagamalim l'shnei machnot, vayomer, im yavo Esav el hamachane ha'achat, v'hikat hu v'haya hamachane hanishar lifleita. That's it.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chaye olam nata b'tochenu, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother in the land of Seir, the fields of Edom. And he instructed them, saying, Thus you shall say to, you shall say, my lord, to Esau, thus said your servant Jacob, I dwelled with Laban until this time, until now, and I have donkeys, or oxen and donkeys, flocks and servants and maidservants, and I will I'm sending to tell my Lord to find favor in your eyes. Then the messengers returned to Jacob and said, we came to your brother, to Esau, and even as he was coming to against you or towards you with 400 men with him, and Jacob was very frightened, and he was it distressed him, and he divided the people who were with him and the sheep and the cattle and the camels into two camps. He said, if Esau comes to the first camp, to one camp, and strikes it, there will be another camp that survives.
Beautiful job. Thank you, Nancy.
Yeah.
Nancy was probably the most senior religious school teacher here, right? Is that right?
Senior what?
Religious school teacher here.
Yeah, I started in 1986.
1986.
I was in religious school still.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I would like to offer a prayer to our students and our congregation on page 258 in front of the open Torah. Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us, love of Torah, devotion and prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy. Baruch atah she'otecha levadecha b'yirah na'avod. Amen.
Amen.
And we also pray for those in need of healing. We ask for God's blessing as we share names of those in our community in need of prayers of healing, of body, of mind, of soul, of spirit, or you may pray silently.
Phyllis Torrin, Richard Schrader, Sylvia Siegman. Leah Winter.
We join together with Josh Mishaberach. Page 253.
Vayishlach Avotenu Mekor habracha imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Vayishlach imotenu Mekor habracha avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We call our Hagba, Jeff Siegel, to lift the Torah as we rise. Page 252. V'zot haTorah
Asher zam Moshe Livnei Bnei Yisrael Adonai B'yad Moshe. Et Chaim ki lemahzikim ba v'tov enecha me'ushan terachei hadarchei noam v'chol netivotecha shalom. There it is. Shivenu Adonai Avelecha v'nashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu
a Torah portion about struggle and about the alternating themes of human life and divine blessing, which define Jacob's remarkable life. Rabbi David Gottlieb writes, although he never trusts his blessings as much as his own wits, his encounters with God and the angels are moments of awe and gratitude, which he commemorates with the construction of pillars and altars celebrating and sacralizing these human-divine intersections. They are monuments to blessing, but as noted by Rabbi Abraham Isaac Kook, the first Ashkenazi chief rabbi of pre-state Israel, there's a crucial distinction between pillars and altars. The former are constructed of one large stone, matzeva, from the root meaning to stand, the latter of many stones, mizbeach, from the root meaning to slaughter or sacrifice. One stands erect, the other lies horizontal. Rabbi Kook sees special significance in the difference between the two. The pillar is a monolith and it reaches toward the heavens, and in this way it commemorates a single individual's encounter with the divine. The altar is not a monolith, but a composite. It represents the recognition that in order to build a functioning society under mutual covenantal commitment, the contributions of many are required. It might also be said that the pillar reaches heavenward like the Tower of Babel, which sought to make an exclusive play for divine connection, while the altar lays flat, providing the surface from which many offerings to God can be sent up. The former emphasize pride and possession, the latter humility and concession. I don't want to embarrass Rick, but if anybody can think of humility, and they think of Rick, who is our beloved Hebrew school and religious school teacher. He hasn't been teaching as long as Nancy Makita, but his students are here tonight to honor him on his birthday, and we just want to say thank you for all of the hours and days and moments that you spend with our Hebrew school students, and all the quiet things that you do around the sanctuary and in the temple to keep our temple going. And your contributions are limitless, and I cannot thank you enough for being such a right-hand man for me and a great teacher. And we have a little something we'd like to give you. I'll have Noah come give it to you, because it's just such a little light thing, he may not be able to carry it by himself. But what more can we give you? That's it, yeah. So Noah is going to give you some light reading. Thank you, Rick. And Nancy Makita, you have some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. When I said I started teaching here in 1986, that I was teaching the preschool class. In fact, I didn't convert until 1987. I got drafted. And I didn't start teaching Hebrew until a few years later. One of my early students was Brian, and along with Brian, there was a little guy sitting on the table in his little seat. That was, what's his name there? I just went blank. Okay. I know perfectly well who you are, and I'm just, oh, well. I know you're Noah, okay. I had another little startling thing happen to me today. In this parasha, where Jacob gets his name changed to Israel. And then what happened to me was I was working on my genealogy project, and I found this little piece of paper stuck in a book with the name of one of my great-grandfathers. Okay, I'd seen it somewhere before, but I hadn't quite fixed it in my mind. Strange name of Alfonso, but anyway. So just for fun, I went to the computer and put in his name, and by golly, I got the name of his parents. My great-grandfather's name was Israel.
Wow.
And on the other side of my family, I have a great-grandfather named Abraham. So, but they're not Jewish. Interesting. I don't know. The Abraham was Dutch. But anyway. Now for a real piece of humor, and also in the Parsha and several others, there are dreams. Okay, so I have a little story about a dream. I'm not sure about this name either, Shmerel? Anyway, this guy, he tossed and turned all night, dreaming of the number 5. So the next day he goes to a dream interpreter, who tells him not to worry that 5 is his lucky number, especially now that he just turned 55, was born on the 5th day of the 5th month, been married for 5 years with 5 children, woo, and earned $55,000 a year. So the next morning, Shmerel receives a phone call from his dream analyst with a hot tip that a horse named Lucky 5 was running in the 5th race at the local track that day. Guess how this is going to turn out. This must be Basher, thinks Shmerel, who runs to the bank, withdraws his entire life savings, and bets it all on Lucky 5. Sure enough, the horse comes in 5th. Why, I like that. Okay, you got to get serious here. Tomorrow, what's tomorrow? Tomorrow is Saturday. We have Torah study. On Sunday, we have the Interfaith Thanksgiving service, which some of us are taking part in, 3 p.m. at St. Paul's Church. If you need directions, just ask me. Of course, Monday is the funeral service for Arthur Winter at 11:30. And with Shiva will be Tuesday evening, not Monday evening, but Tuesday evening right here at 7 o'clock. Coming up right after Thanksgiving is Hanukkah, at the Hanukkah party. It doesn't say RSVP, should they? Yeah, I think so. I think the Hanukkah party it's not a full dinner, but there's going to be good latkes and games and candles, of course, and sufganiyot. So please RSVP so we can make sure we have enough of everything for everybody. Basic Judaism is at 4 o'clock on Mondays, maybe not this week. Not sure. If you're interested, ask on Monday. And thank you to John and Michael Bayer for sponsoring our Oneg tonight. And I think that's all.
We just have to add a couple things, Nancy.
Okay.
So, we're sorry that we have to limit the number of people for the funeral. So if you possibly can come to the Shiva Minyan Tuesday night, that would be a great way to honor Arthur's memory. The funeral and the Shiva Minyan will be live streamed. We are expecting a very large crowd, and we've had to keep the vaccination card rules where you show your card when you come and your ID, and we're spacing out the seating. And we just have to take these precautions to keep our congregation safe, and the rules keep changing all the time, but we have to adhere to what we think is best. Yes, Jeff?
So we have preparations and setup that we're going to be doing this weekend after the Friends group is finished and we're done over at the St. Paul's. And so if you're around, you want to come and help us set up everything on Sunday afternoon.
If you can't hear him, if you want to come on Sunday after 5 o'clock and come help us set up chairs. We're going to set up chairs in the courtyard and in the social hall, and we're going to do our best to put out as many chairs as possible, and I think the weather's going to be warm that day.
Right, and the other thing is that if you're going to be attending on Monday, members of the congregation, there are many things that we need to do, like ushers and people that will be inside the temple to make sure that things are going smoothly. And so if you would like to participate in that, we would appreciate the help.
And I want to thank Irene and Anna ahead of time for helping out with some refreshments after the Tuesday evening Shiva, which Leah had requested. So thank you for honoring her request. So if you have any questions, come please ask me or Jeff. And Arthur was a great teacher in our Hebrew school, and I'm really missing him. And I know you guys are too. So it's just really nice to be here and honor teachers and our students who are taking their next place in the chain of tradition and becoming teachers themselves and leaders. So with that being said, I'm going to ask you all to come up again, you November birthdays, you students of the Hebrew school. We're going to sing happy birthday to our November birthdays. So please come on up.
Ready, everybody? Yom Halelet Sameach, Yom Halelet Sameach, Yom Halelet Sameach, Yom Halelet Sameach. Big round of applause for everybody.
Yay.
Happy birthday, everybody.
You guys want to stay up here? And what?
29. That's a great name.
And Arthur Winter would have been 93 on November 25th.
Wow.
You want to open the ark and we'll continue with Elenu, with everybody up here. It's nice for us to have help with that on page 282 to 82.
Aleinu l'shabeach le'adon hakol, לתת גדולה להוציר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו כהמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר לאדוני למלך כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו Happy birthday, half the congregation.
Yes.
But really? Impressive. Yeah. Something to be said.
When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world and am free. We mark the yahrzeits in our congregation this evening of Joseph Noah Kahn, Jacob B. Cohen, Martin Robert Ilian, J. Albert Robinson, Paul David Grossman, Liba Osbond Atlas, Paul Bakirita, Alvin Lewis Dove, Maurice Lubin, Ruth Ann Savitz, and in the period of Shloshim, Kara Schneider. Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, is on page 294. If you'd like to, you may rise. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayei rechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala u'v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam l'almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemeid kudesha b'richu, la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbekata v'nechemata, ta'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, amen. Please be seated. Thank you, John and Michael, for sponsoring the oneg. Thank you, Josh, for the beautiful music. And thank you for the teachers of our wonderful synagogue. And for the students. Yivarechecha, our closing blessing, page 299.
Yivarecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'kunecha. Yisa Adonai, Yisa Adonai panav elecha, Diyasem lecha, Diyasem lecha, Diyasem lecha, Shalom, Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.